Like every trip to a regionals, it starts with a journey, and that was the journey with my friends. We drive out to pick up my boys Orlando and Hector, the Dragon Boy and the Eldritch King, and we see what we can bring onto this region. How much do you know League of Legends?
Good enough.
All right, you know what we are? What? Elo terrorists. We are here to stop people from topping. That's all. Bro, we are running such of the most rogue soul drain. Bro,
if I can take a set off of someone, I'll be so happy.
Like every road trip involving Yu-Gi-Oh, it's mostly spent in strategizing. We were considering what can we bring up to face when we see the tier limit, the sprites, and all these top tiering decks. Cards I brought up that I saw online was a card called Summoning Curse. Have you ever heard of a card called Summoning Curse?
That sounds sick. What does it do?
If a monster is, it's a continuous spell. If a monster is special summoned, the current controller of that monster banish one card from the hand. Once per turn, during your end phase, pay 500 life points or destroy this card.
I would like to do that for my my deck. You're banishing from hand?
We came in very confident and strong in believing what we're bringing, as our regional is very competitive. We're not talking, We came in very confident and strong because our locals is very competitive. You are seeing tier 0 decks there all the time. We call it our mini YCS, which is great practice, but very defeating at times with how competitive it can truly be.
No one is doing that on Mr.
I normal summon Magician Souls, a 0 attack, 0 defense monster, Secret Village, and then I Soul Drain, and they're like, all right, dude, let's just game 2. The fear of a 0 attack, 0 defense monster. We arrive on location for the region, and we're surprised to see it as a university. We're hopeful that we'll have a decent lunch. Yeah, blah 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 blah. This is so frustrating. We arrive on location for the Prodigy Games Regional. This is the first time I fill out a deck list, and little did I know that this is something you should do at home in a document Word or some sort of PDF documentation way. You can do this because you will very quickly find out if your handwriting isn't perfect. It's gonna be hard to fit in Saravis the Lardian Light. What's that card's name? You'll soon find out, and you'll probably have a competition between your friends to see who has the card with the most words on it as a title, and end up filling it in the wrong spot. Like my boy Orlando ended up filling 4 different deck list sheets because he messed it up. I messed mine up, I believe, twice, and Hector, I think, was the only good boy doing it correct on his first play. My first duel is up a Mystic Mind burn deck, and as much as hate as that deck gets, the person was very respectful, and I personally enjoyed the lessons he taught me and how to fight this deck after our duel. Round 2, we're up against a Veterans Heroes player, and I'm a little bit nostalgic as one of my best friends in the Air Force who taught me and one of my other best friends, Justin, how to play the game is him using heroes, and we were bullied by his malicious bane all the time. So I'm a little bit prepared and understanding of where to stop him in his combos, and I brought my secret tech into my deck, Piercing the Darkness, which will let my Dark Magician surpass any attack these hero cards have. Unfortunately, I brick.
Tripping, bro. You tripping.
The game did go a couple rounds, but I just absolutely loved how he was able to play around it. He was very appreciative of some new takes and not just skill drain spam, and I very much enjoyed the duel with that person. Round 3 is Dragon Link. Not normal Dragon Link, Dragon Link, Punk, and Adventure. And I brick both hands, and I get 2-0'd. Next round, me and my crew end up going to round 4 hungry and a little bit of sense defeated, as we're -3. If we get one more loss, we're eliminated from the tournament. We must get a win here. I matched up against a Labyrinth player, and funny enough, the duelist is a person from our locals. I've never seen him play Labyrinth, and this is my first time facing Labyrinth. I take round 1. Round 2, he sets 5, passes over to me. I brick with a Magician's Rod and just DM spells, and I end up just losing that duel. We go to game 3. I drop Harpy's Feather Duster. He responds with one of his Labyrinth traps. I respond with Red Reboot. The 2 one-ups, the perfect answers to his deck, guarantees me the round, and he pretty much just scoops it up from there, and that's win for me for game 3.
Look at you, sure. Look at you, sure. I'm the captain.
Anyways, the person I'm dueling is playing Sprite. This regional took place after Power of the Elements released. We're facing full power Sprite. I learned a rough lesson that day. Did you know Dragon Crown only responds if my opponent activates a monster effect? The Sprite has free monster search, inherits summon,
which ignores
any hand trap you don't activate it, you just go. Sprite has a back row removal, a spell.
Yeah, no, it smashes, it banishes. It's even better.
They don't care. They're like, Mr. Man, okay, cool, done. I don't really.
I can play.
Sprite can run any engine it wants. It can run 2 limits if it wants. It can run literally Runic if it wants. It's such a splash more engine. I didn't know this because I never understood. It is Verte Anaconda as an engine, as a deck. Because you do all your combos with your main deck, and then you go into Sprite. So when I went round 1 and I made my Dragon Crown against them, they're like, cool, that does nothing to me. And they went ahead and made a full board, ignoring my Mysterion Dragon Crown, which banishes if my opponent activates a monster effect to summon one of the same type. They pretty much went over his effect because they're all inherit summon. He was able to make his board, got his spell card, banish my Mysterion, and attack forward for game. Game 2, I go first, I make Dragoon. They bait out my negate, and they use their Sprite card to banish Dragoon. I'm left defenseless, and I get steamrolled 2-0. I was so taken back, and this was my first time dueling Sprite, and I asked them, like, what could I have done better? Like, because we didn't even get halfway through the clock. The gentleman, super kind, super studious, very much showed me where I went wrong, what things I could have done. We're not done here yet. We may have been eliminated from the event, but these type of events bring really rare cards to them. And I finally get to chase after a card that I've been hunting for 2 years. While speaking to the Sprite player, I had asked him about any rare cards that he had seen anybody trading while at the event, and he told me that the event is actually having their store of singles, and they're selling rare cards, that somebody bought a Ghost Dark Magician for $450. And I was like, they have them here? I've been looking for that card for years. I run to over, and they've sold out of the 450 ones, and they only have a $600 one. I'll be honest, I love Dark Magician. My entire Yu-Gi-Oh journey is Dark Magician, but $600 is a steep price. The frame is perfect. I flip the back, and it has that quality control issue that Konami's been having for several years now with Ghost of the Past, the little dots. I asked the seller, it's like, hey, look, the card is damaged. Would you be willing to drop the price a bit? After some haggling and some back and forth, they agreed, like, hey, let's do $450. I'm like, $450 is still steep. Like, oh, I really appreciate it, but I can't do $450. We talk a little bit more. The guy goes, hey, let's flip a coin. And I said, I do you one better. Let's roll a D100. This is the situation. We have a Ghost Rare DM, and we're getting it for $450. I'm gonna roll a D100.
Either 400 or 450.
Yes. High roll.
Dude, that is, wait, what?
What is it?
I don't know.
19.
Excuse me? 11?
Oh, 11!
11!
Oh my god.
Now, we may have fallen out of the regional, but we learned a lot. We became better duelists, and I also got one of my favorite cards that I've been hunting for quite a long time, the Ghost Dark Magician. And I'm fortunate enough to say that I finally have it after all this time. Prodigy Games, this is my first regional. I truly couldn't be happier. I'm a new Yu-Gi-Oh player that's got into the game on and off, and I officially jumped into TCG last February. I really appreciate you hosting such a great event. I even met the director of the event rolling the D100 to decide to sell his Ghost DM to me. So honestly, it's a memorable experience that I'll always cherish. I thank you all for coming with me on this journey. I appreciate you subscribing and watching all these videos. The comments have been nothing but supportive, meeting people's in the community, and I'm very grateful I got into this. I'm very grateful. Thank you again for everything. Please have a happy holidays. Signing out.